outside today and I'm sharing a parking lot with these guys that have got pocket bikes, and they're enjoying this parking lot too. Off to my right I've got probably a quarter mile, and off to my other right I got probably another half mile. And this is my ofna DM spec 1. Really flat, pristine, clean parking lot with no manholes at the moment. They're out here practicing their wheelies and stuff. It's kind of cool. This is my ofna dm1 spec car. This is a rally car, I believe, or on-road. I don't know. This is a fairly old car. They came out with this about 9 or 10 years ago. I've got the big hobby wing, 8 scale size motors in this thing. It's a 2430. They make a 2600 now, which is in the mail. I set this thing down like 3 years ago and I haven't touched it. I got it out the other day, got it all cleaned up. To keep this car on the ground, on the inside of the bumper here, you'll see that there's a bunch of weights. Well, the inside of this bumper is actually hollow. There's a 1.5 pounds of weight in the nose of the car to keep it on the ground. The gear ratio, which a lot of people like to really protect, I don't have any problem sharing that. This is a 34 tooth Traxxas spur gear that's in this car. Has complete ceramic bearings. The front end's got probably 50,000 weight in it, and then the rear end's got like 1 million. It's like 100,000 plus weight oil in it, basically like Vaseline. The primary gear, there is no differential at all. It's a straight gear, straight transfer gear. There's no splines or anything on the inside of this. It's just a gear directly to the shaft, and ceramic ball bearings front and back, of course. Ceramic bearings in the back, ceramic bearings up in the hood, or up in the knuckles of the car, front and rear. The ceramic bearings made a big difference in how the car handled. Now I'm trying to find solid rubber tires, because even these little GT Swift tires that are on here, they're like that thick, balloon underneath the body of the car. If I wanted to go top speed, I would probably either tape or build a pan that goes across the whole bottom of the car for aerodynamic reasons. You can see ofna's got a lot of openings on the bottom of the car. This is all drag. From the front bumper to the rear diffuser, it's all drag. As you can see, it hasn't been run that much. I actually put these scratches in it the other day trying to run it up and down the street. I hit a manhole cover doing, I don't know, well over 100. So today we're gonna see how fast we can get this little thing to go in a straight line. Because the gear ratio is so tall, I got my timing set, I think, at 26 something degrees, which is pretty advanced. And then my drag brake force I've got almost at 0. The reason for that is it's going to kill the motor at top speed, and then you try to apply brake. So this is run, off the throttle, let it decel for the most part. Otherwise it creates a ton of heat in the controller and the motor just about cooks itself. So the real trick to getting this thing to go to super fast was to get the front end down. This thing's only got maybe a 1/4 inch of travel on the front end and maybe about 1 inch on the back end. And it's fairly stiff. Fairly stiff, and that's what you're looking for. So you want your car to be canted like that. And the trick is keeping the nose on the ground. Now I got a very, very slight amount of wind today coming from right to left. So that means I'll have a little bit of a tailwind, which is good. I can't run high speed into the wind. A little couple extra miles an hour is just enough to get the front end to lift, and this thing likes to fly. I've had this pass me from me running over a pine cone. I've had it pass me 15 feet in the air, go flying overhead. And when this thing wrecks, it's usually very spectacular and expensive. It's just a standard polycarbonate body, which if I was serious about it, I'd carbon reinforce the body, or I'd fiberglass reinforce the body. At one point I had this whole fin painted black. I went out and I did one run with it, and when it came back, all the paint had come off. There was so much air pressure, and this thing was vibrating so bad that it blew all the paint clean off the wing in the bag. Without this wing, I could not get the car over about 50, maybe 60 miles an hour. It was just as squirrely as could be. When I put the wing on, and this is actually what comes with the DM1, it set right down and became completely drivable. So now, Like I said, I set this thing down for a long time and I haven't run it. I'm not in the ideal position for batteries with the current way things are in the world today. It's almost impossible to get hardly anything. But we're going to try this on 18 volt, and then we're going to try it on 22 volt, but instead of being like 5,000 or 6,000 milliamp like what you'd want, I'm going to run it on a 32,000 milliamp battery. So that means I might get one pass out of this, and then I got to stop and let it cool down. So let me put some batteries in it, get the camera switched around here and get everything turned on, and let's see if we can film one pass without blowing the car up. Okay, so we're on 18 volts at the moment. Hopefully I got the parking lot cleaned off enough that it doesn't find something to jump on. Okay, here we go, a little 18 volt pass. Let's just get the car warmed up. Driving good, sticking to the road good today. Okay, let's change batteries. And them guys don't like the fact I got cameras set up. That's funny as hell. Okay, we're on 22 volts at the moment. Still not the right size battery that I'd be happy with. So we're gonna see what we get out of it for pass. 18 volts is incredibly slow to me. See if we can get a little bit more out of it here. I've only been able to run this thing wide open like this a couple times. So, okay, got no wind. Things clear. Here we go. Ooh. Slower though. This is an old car, you guys. It's an old car full of a bunch of old technology. They got way better motors now. I'm waiting on battery tech is what I'm waiting on. They just upgraded radios, absolutely had to do that. That's right, I got no reverse. Here we go. Trying to jog right on me for some reason. All right, last pass. Whoa. See what I mean? Everything isn't just perfect. You end up wrecking. But at the end of the day, any wreck you can drive away from is a good wreck. That car got up on its side and was able to throttle it and get the wheels to flip back down on the ground. All right. See how tore up we are now. Well, the roof's a little scuffed up. It's okay, I got a brand new body coming for it. So now the wind has changed direction. What caused that was the wind is now coming from your point of view now, right to left instead of left to right. A little bit of wind is what made it go airborne. Okay, let's run down here. That was expensive. That was expensive. Now let's see what we broke here this time around. The body's screwed. That front lip is super important to keep air from getting underneath the car, and as you guys seen, it's wanting to lift, which means I still don't have enough weight in the nose. And of course, I'm running a significantly smaller battery than I normally run, so that's less weight. Motor's screaming hot. I blew my on-off switch off, which is easy to fix, but broke the diffuser strut in the back. That's okay, I got more of those. Broke the body post. Chewed up this rim pretty good, chewed up this rim pretty good. Not too bad. This isn't bad. We need to replace that motor. Front bearing's starting to go in the motor. Gear is, yeah, not too bad. Like I said, we got the bigger, better 8-scale hobby wing motor with the sensor in it, which is really important. They didn't have a censored version of this when I bought this controller and this motor. So with the sensor in it, which will make it run a lot smoother. Apparently I got to cut away more of the bumper. Probably put another 6 ounces up here. So get her up to 2 pounds. Wow, this body took a beating. It's all right. Got a brand new body coming for it. We're gonna fiberglass tub this thing. Maybe next time I'll remember to bring my GPS. We can actually see how fast it goes. So I get back here to the shop and I thought, man, I'm gonna see what the hell the deal is with the motor and the play in this gear. And I'm sitting here and I'm moving it through its motions, and I can't get this thing to rotate anymore. Well, if we sit back here and we'll look, my pan on my car isn't flat anymore. It's bent right past the motor, right here, which isn't really that big of a deal. But then we go and we look at our drive axle. Oh, come on. Unlock you. There we go. Then we come and we look at our drive axle. It hit so hard. Now, you don't think that was going very fast when it wrecked because of perception and depth, but this thing was hauling ass when it actually flipped and went airborne. And when it landed on its back corner, it broke these two rear struts, but there was enough energy transfer to the frame to break the frame, collapse one of these bearings. So now my center differential isn't lined up with my spur gear anymore. And the spur gear, the bearing on the front end of the motor, is shattered. It's the joys of going fast. I know I didn't look it on camera, but that was well over 100 plus miles an hour. Well over. And you got to remember, this is an old car with old technology in it. I mean, there's way faster cars out there now. I mean, hell, Traxxas sells supposedly a 100-mile-an-hour out-of-the-box car. I don't believe it because of the drivetrain is plastic, and I don't believe it because the tires are too balloony. But even at that, when this thing passed us on camera, the tires are growing to be like this big. It's all energy lost. So now we get on the internet, and I gotta put on the new diffuser I've got. I gotta take the whole rear end off the car, and well, take the whole center out of the car, take the battery tray out of the car, take the ECX out of the car. Yeah, I just got a lot of stuff I get to fix. But have faith, this is all part of going fast. And what I should have done when I wrecked the first time is stop, take a look at everything and let everything cool down, because you got to think about how hot the tires are getting, how hot everything is getting running at that speed. These little tires are turning at 7 million RPM. These motors will turn 100,000 plus RPMs, you know. So it's, I'm pretty sure I probably screwed up something in the rear diff too, so I got to take that apart and examine that as well. Yeah. That should be flat. Stop, bud. I got my dog out here with me. Hi, buddy. Dad's shooting video. Go on. Go away. Go play. Do something. So, bent frame. Bent the axle. Like, severely bent it. And the front one's a little tweaked as well. It's kind of hard to tell, but that sucker is not straight. Nor are the front and rear dog bones lined up anymore. If we look, they're not even on there straight anymore. This is turned a little bit this direction. Yeah. And being that these are steel, because I had aluminum, custom aluminum ones, which I still have over here, but I would twist these. They would turn like a pretzel, or like a, it'd look like a Twizzler. They'd torqued around. Ain't no fixing that. It's $3.40 though, for a front and rear set of dog bones. This, on the other hand, is good news. The impact is so jarring that it blew the bearing out of the motor housing. The motor is fine, come to find out. The set screw on the spur gear broke, and so this is able to slide back and forth on our shaft. So that's okay. And then the front bearing housing, when it shot forward, was spinning fast enough that it melted the bracket that holds the bearing on the front end of the differential. And then it shattered the spacer that sits in here. There's a little plastic spacer that keeps the bearing forward and back. It broke that. Not too bad, actually. My right front tire over here is out of round, and that's because the rim is broken. But the left and the right rear still seem to be fairly true. And yeah, not too bad. Nothing that we can't just bend back or fix. On the pan, on the other hand, I'm pretty sure I can bend that back since it's aluminum, but I am going to have to create, which is fine. This will give me something to do on my Sundays for me to relax and get my brain off of amplifier radio. I'm going to have to build some kind of support bracket. Build some kind of support bracket to go from the front to the back over the top. And they make all kinds of brackets for them on the internet. I was looking. But this isn't really all that bad, to be honest with you. And I wouldn't trust this pan again. But I am going to go ahead and tub the bottom out on this thing. I'll probably go and get a sheet of aluminum on Tuesday morning and make it so that the whole bottom side of the car is slick, and make it so it bends up and matches the diffuser at the back. Kind of play with the aerodynamics a little bit, but I literally put this on the shelf a couple years ago and I've run it twice since then. And that's just to make sure everything was still working on it. But the new motor, probably go with a little bit taller primary gear because they make these all the way up to 37 teeth or 38 teeth. I want to change the front housing on this to a piece of billet aluminum, which I think they make, and if they don't, I'm going to have one made. So new ECX, new motor, modify the center diff a little bit, put a new set of dog bones in it, pan it, or tub it, however you want to call it. And then we're going to see how fast this thing will go then. With a little bit bigger motor and the right size battery. It's fun. It's a fun day. A little bit expensive, a little bit time consuming, but it's Sunday, it's my day. I get to do whatever I want to do on this day. There's 6 days of the week. It's pretty much I give to you guys. Well, anyhow, I don't know how many of you guys will find any interest in this. Probably none. Probably have the haters tune in. Oh, he broke his car. Guess what? Don't care. Part of the job. Part of the fun. So, on that note, I'm going to go play some more. See you guys. Bye-bye. One tire severely out of round and one cracked rim, but